Very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. Me, Adebayo. Well, tonight on the show, we'll be talking about the inaugural, of course, E1 boat race that happened in Nigeria, talking about powerboat racing. We're also going to be talking about football. Of course, we'll talk about the World Cup qualifiers, the fading hopes of the Super Eagles of making it to the Mundial. Talking about the FIFA World Cup next year, 2026. We will also be talking about the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. We'll spare some time to talk about games on the domestic scene, talking about the Nigeria Premier Football League. That's the outlook of the show for tonight. Sit back, relax, even as we take you on this ride. You already know it's a two-man show. My colleague, Austin Okonakwa, suited and ready as we go along on this ride.
What a greetings to you, Yemi, and our viewers joining us from all over the world. It's always an action-packed world of sports, and I'm super excited to be on the show tonight to talk about those stories that our viewers are talking about. Let me begin with this big one coming from powerlifting. 18 athletes will represent Nigeria at the World Powerlifting Championships in Cairo, Egypt. It will kick off on the 9th, that's Friday the 9th, and run till the 18th. I said 18 athletes will represent Nigeria. These are the first batch of athletes that left. That's the champ right there for Lashade Oluwafemi Ayo. She will be making her 5th appearance at the championship and will be aiming to win her 5th medal. I think it was the first one she attended. She won silver, and from that time till now, it's been gold all the way. So it will be 10 female powerlifters and 8 male powerlifters representing Nigeria in Cairo, Egypt. We know the names that got us talking at the Paris Paralympics. Esther Nwogu, with a broken shoulder, she lifted Nigeria to win a silver medal. There's Bosel Omolayo and, of course, Onyinyechi Mark that won gold right there at the Paris Olympics. So, we're looking forward to this one. What we Team Nigeria do, we know we always impress in powerlifting. So let's see what kind of story they will give us right there in Cairo, Egypt.
All right, let's see what stories they will give us. All right, let's quickly introduce our guest with us in the Lagos studio. Oluwadamiloro Josaliu joins us tonight on the show. He needs little or no introduction. He's a journalist with CTFM right here in Lagos. Damiloju, once again, thank you for finding time to be with us on the show.
It's always good to be on sports tonight, and I know there's a lot of exciting things to talk about,
Sure.
especially regarding Nigeria. You said fading World Cup hopes. My calculator is out already. Permutations, combinations, all those things, I have them.
All right, he has them, but I know a lot of Nigerians have thrown the calculators away. But let's see what happens. But Damiloju, let's start differently. We'll connect the dots and go back to Austin. The inaugural edition of the E1 boat race. There are a lot of things you see in all these Hollywood movies. Some things you see, that you're like, when will this happen in Nigeria? But with what we have on screen, again, it buttresses the point that we can host grade A, top-class sporting events.
It was encouraging, I would not even lie. It was encouraging to see, first of all, the fact that Lagos took this step and then we brought this to Africa. We've always talked about how football is not the only sport and that we need to explore and then we have to widen our tentacles, maybe even take things away from just land, and we saw that over the water. Exciting times, yes, I know a lot of Nigerians were saying, it was another country that won X, Y, and Z, but the most important thing was we showcased. I know that there was a lot of talk up until the race itself happened over the weekend. And I think a lot of Nigerians who were there talked about how, this is something new, this is something we can get behind, this is something that is an exciting initiative, and let's see how far this little dipping our legs into the shallow end, literally, how far it can go.
I'm going to come to you. I'm excited, It came in a bit unheralded, but just look at these drone shots. I told Damiloju, these are some of the things you see in films, Hollywood films, to be precise. It doesn't matter to me that the Nigerian team did not win at all. The fact that we can host this, then it probably shuts up some of us who are a bit skeptical about the 2030 Commonwealth Games. Because you're seeing things like this he already answers the question, because a lot of people are saying, okay, you can do the major, what about the aquatic events? What about? But I think it answers that question.
It's so heartwarming. This is so welcoming. They're just looking at this shot. If they don't tell you this is Lagos, Nigeria, you will give it to one of those, big cities with good coastal lines and the likes. This goes beyond just hosting the E1 Lagos Grand Prix. We've told them that Nigeria is safe, both on the land and on the sea, and we've kept talking about this right from when, I think it was last year, when the officials, including DJ Drogba, went to visit Governor Babatunde Sanwo-Olu and Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and he was so excited about it because he said, look, it's new. We haven't seen this sort of things, that much in Africa. And Lagos is excited to lead the way, And when you see competitors from different parts of the world now come around and witness Nigeria on the water, see that our coastal lines are not just clean, but they're also safe, and that we can put together a competition of this magnitude that requires a lot of planning, organizing, tells you that when Nigerians want to do something, nothing stops us, It is getting the right people, understanding the vision, the purpose, and try to put some commercial value around it. That's where we struggle a bit. But I'm so excited about this. During the presentation, if you are following the proper F1, you will think that was a Formula One race that just ended, and you have your top drivers ready to collect, their medals and pop the champagne. It was so good to see. I'm so super excited about this A1 Grand Prix that Lagos put together. Look at it right there. I loved it so much. Just looking at it, I was like, wow, so we can actually put this together. It's really encouraging, just as Oluwadamiloro just said. Let's listen to some of the talking points from the E1 Lagos Grand Prix. I love it, and I'm sure you'd love it also. Listen.
Yeah, this was the first win for Team Brazil. It's the first race for E1 in Africa. We came to Lagos and we had a fantastic time. It was almost a perfect weekend for the team. We were fastest in practice, we were top qualifiers, and we won the final. So it's a beautiful day. I'm super happy. I'm super proud of the team. We've had a great time here. It's super important in E1 with the race format to have the best starting lane. So you want to start on that inside, and we managed to do that. Eva brought me a great position of P3 in the final one. So we started from the middle of the lane in the final race, and thanks to the team, I had a brilliant start, near perfect, and from there it was kind of smooth sailing to take the win.
And so on our waterways that we usually don't think so much about it, see what it's turning into. So what it means is that we all need to protect it. All of us have a role to play, ensure that we're not dumping refuse on our waterways. It's now a place where we're showing to the world. It's like Monaco, it's like any other water in any part of the world. And so the resource and the opportunity is enormous.
We are incredibly proud to have moved from 5 races in 2 continents in season 1 to 7 races in 4 continents in season 2. And there is a clear expansion plan. So in 2-3 seasons, we will be really everywhere in all the continents. Africa needed to be there. The motherland needed to be there. So we are incredibly proud to be here.
Fantastic. Love it so much. And this is just a reminder to sports administrators in Nigeria. You see now that it goes beyond winning. This was not Nigeria, Oluwadamiloro competing to win medals. This is the world talking about us now, that we can put together a proper event, sporting event, if we are serious about it. And just as Governor Sanwo-Olu talked about, we've shown that our waterways are clean, they are safe, and we can actually do more with it. If the Commonwealth evaluation team they are watching, Oluwadamiloro, I think this is some good marks, some good points for Nigeria. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I agree. Some positive points for Nigeria when you talk about the bid towards the Commonwealth Games. I will not lie, I am one of the skeptics. I still think Commonwealth in 5 years, I don't know exactly where Nigeria is, but knowing how little time we had for this particular one and how we're able to deliver something, you heard from some of those who competed about how this was a very nice weekend. It was almost a perfect weekend. It shows that the aquatic side of things, we might just be ready. Commonwealth, maybe if I was to advise Nigeria, I would say leave it to one more edition, but that's just me.
All right, that's just you. And I told Damiloju that I was a bit jealous when the organizers of Formula One started talking with Rwanda, South Africa. They didn't talk about Nigeria, but at least E1 has balanced the equation now, so that's out of the way. At least a good one. But don't let's argue about 2030. It's coming to stay. All right, let's move on the show now. Let's go to Chile now and quickly link up with the media officer of the Flying Eagles, Sharif Abdullahi. He joins us on the show tonight. Greetings to you. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show. Okay. Maybe we'll get.
So Sharif is trying to, get his tech all right. So Sharif, when you do just that with your audio, you need to unmute, and then we will get that conversation going. It's all about the Flying Eagles and their quest to advance at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Chile. They will be going against the respected Argentina team. That's because I said respected because they had a flawless group run, Oluwadamiloju. So when Sharif Abdullah is ready, he's the media officer of the team, is right there in Chile. Sharif, you just need to unmute your audio, and then we'll get the conversation going because I can see he's trying to get that done. So once Sharif gets that ready, we will get on with the competition. But Oluwadamiloju, let me get you talking. Okay. Sharif is ready now. Sharif, good evening. Well, I don't know. What's the time right there in Chile? But welcome to Sports Tonight.
Well, it's a pleasure to join you guys. Of course, it's a little bit sunny at the moment, trust me, because Nigeria is like 4 hours ahead of Chile at the moment. So I think it's about after five in Santiago at the moment.
Fantastic. So Abdullah just arrived there in Santiago. Let's talk about the Flying Eagles. You talked about this team and you were optimistic about the team before the group phase action started. After 3 matches, is your optimism still intact?
Well, as a Nigerian, I'm always an optimist, trust me. Because considering the fact that we've not started really well, doesn't mean we cannot end well. We started by losing to Norway. We bounced back against Saudi Arabia, and of course managed a draw against Colombia. So to say, it may not really be convincing, but at the moment we have our backs against the wall. This Nigerian team is not really perfect, but I think one thing that keeps driving these boys, the driving force of these boys is certainly that heart and mind that they played out, especially the game we saw against Colombia when we had to fight our way back to the game and eventually manage with a point. And talking about the round of 16 game, I can remember vividly 2 years ago, we met Argentina at the same stage in their own backyard. Yeah. And fortunately for us, we have like 2 players that were part of the immediate past Flying Eagles and are still with us. I'm talking about the 2 Daniels. And, whenever Nigeria is playing Argentina, that game always produces a fireworks from the senior team down to the youth level. We've met Argentina on numerous occasions, and, it attracts football fans across the globe. So the young lads are aware of the history of Nigeria-Argentina clash. And of course, that is always inspiring. I've been talking to some of the boys. Guys, are you aware of the fact that we've been meeting Argentina right from our first debut in 1994 World Cup. So, I mean, in 1996, we still met Argentina, the Olympic Games, the under-23, at the youth level. We've always been meeting Argentina, which I personally target as Intercontinental Clasico, whenever Nigeria is meeting Argentina. So, I mean, you need to remind these boys about the history of Nigeria-Argentina clash. And a lot of these boys are aware of the fact that, they cannot take the Argentines for granted. The Argentines were flawless in Group D, coming out on top of that group with 9 points. I mean, defeating each and every opponent.
That's right.
But the fact that we also, managed to be one to come as one of the third best groups doesn't mean we can beat Argentina. I can remember same thing happened 2 years ago. We finished third in our group and also managed to beat Argentina 2-0. So I think you would just, the clash.
I like the optimism. I like the optimism. Before I hand you over to the team in Lagos, against Norway, we can say this Flying Eagles team, they were unlucky. Against Saudi Arabia, their character got tested. Against Colombia, they went all the way and managed to do, just enough to make it to the knockout phase. My brother, this team, are they under pressure? Do they understand the mission or what they need to do to advance at the competition?
Well, like I said, personally, I'm always optimistic about this team. The players are young lads, and people like us need to remind them the task ahead. Nigerians will always settle for something that at least is convincing. The Flying Eagles have always been very good at this is our 14th appearance in a FIFA under-20 men's tournament. So I think with this kind of experience, with this kind of a rich history in this competition, like I earlier stated, these boys were not really convincing starting from the game against Norway, against Saudi Arabia, and of course against Colombia. But at the moment, you just have to right your wrongs. And like I said, I am still confident, and I believe, we'll see a different Flying Eagles display come tomorrow against Argentina.
All right, let me just throw this off the cuff. This might just be your party shot on the show. It's South American territory. We're far away from home. But I'm curious, you've been in Santiago for a while. What do you think the fans will support? Chile and Argentina are definitely rivals. So in terms of the fans, the ones you've listened to, a game involving their rivals and somebody from... okay, you know what? Sharif, we're going to keep you. We need to go on a break right about now. Think about what I just said and your likely response to it. But we need to go on a break. And just to quickly let our viewers know that when we return from this break, there will be, on the DSTV platform, there will be onto Inside the Niger Delta, but on all other platforms, you'll still be with us. We'll still be talking sports and all the exciting things around it. Let's go on that break. Come back for more. All right, welcome back. You're still with us in Sports Tonight. We are, of course, talking about the FIFA Under-20 World Cup currently going on in Chile. We have with us the media officer of the Flying Eagles of Nigeria. And I was asking you about what the atmosphere will look like tomorrow when the Flying Eagles play against Argentina in Chile. Who do you think the fans will support? And do you think it will be a factor in the game?
Well, this is the very first time we're playing in Santiago, but trust me, we played all the 3 games in Talca, in the city of Talca, and the support we've been receiving is second to none. Our game against Norway, football fans across the city supported the Flying Eagles. Even the second game against Saudi Arabia, it was more or less like 50-50. But trust me, when we were playing Colombia, I couldn't believe it. The fact that Colombia is just 6 hours away from Chile. A lot of fans in that city supported the Flying Eagles. It was Nigeria all over the stadium. So I want to sincerely believe here in Santiago is going to be no different. Considering the fact, I had to ask a couple of Chileans that, guys, who will you be rooting for tomorrow? Without mincing words, of course going for massive support and to support Nigeria. And I was a bit curious, why will you be supporting Nigeria ahead of Argentina? The fact that you guys are neighbors. The next thing was, I learned that Argentina have so far been playing the big boys in South American football. So that pride is what other South Americans are really upset with. So that's the main reason why whenever there is an opponent, even away from the continent of South America, they go for that opponent. So I want to believe that tomorrow, the Chilean fans will definitely support the Flying Eagles. Like I said, we're playing in Santiago for the very first time in this tournament, considering the fact that we played all our 3 games in the city of Talca. But I don't believe it's going to be a different ball game in terms of support. Surely Chileans will root for the Flying Eagles of Nigeria.
Okay, just a second. Let's quickly give our viewers a confirmation of the matches. We've been talking about it for a while. Chile, the host, will take on Mexico. Argentina will slug it out with the Flying Eagles of Nigeria. And of course, Colombia will play another African country, that's South Africa. So round of 16 fixtures for tomorrow, Wednesday. Hopefully by this time, tomorrow we'll probably know what would have transpired. On Thursday, Paraguay will take on Norway. Japan will take on France. And of course, the United States will take on Italy. Interesting fixtures in round of 16. Another African representative, Morocco, will take on Korea Republic. That game will be on Friday, round of 16 on Friday. All right, so I guess that's a good place to leave it on the show tonight. Sharif, I want to thank you for your time, and I hope that you will remain in Chile because if the Flying Eagles win, it means that you will remain in Chile. We don't want you back very soon. I want to thank you for your time on the show. Hopefully we'll do this again some other time.
It's a pleasure to join you live on Channels TV Sports. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
All right. That's Sheriff Abdallah, the Flying Eagles media officer. So, Damiloju Saliu, let's get your thoughts. I don't know if you agree, but Argentina has always had the upper hand. That's the way I see it.
That's the truth.
Across all levels.
That's the truth of the matter. Let's talk about this specific tournament. Nobody will forget 2005. It was the Youth Championship then. That was the name that it was called. And I think that's where a lot of people were really, really exposed to the greatness of a certain Lionel Messi. The encouraging thing, like he said, is the fact that despite Argentina's 100% record at the last edition in the group stage, we met them in the round of 16 and we were able to win by 2-0. Here's my worry. The matches that we have scored well, or the match rather, the Saudi Arabia match, we look suspect defensively. Mm-hmm. When we've been able to look resolute defensively, it has affected how we did going forward. I stayed up to see that Colombia game. We were very unlucky. We hit the post 3 times, but you can see that there's always just a goal margin involved in our matches. So if we're going to decide that we want to stifle Argentina and we want to stop them, they scored 8 goals in the group, I fear that is going to affect our production going forward.
Well. All right, so that's the analysis from Damiloju. Hopefully we'll get a win in that one. All right, let's talk about continental football now, but administration of the game, that's the part of the game that we have problems here because we have to look ourselves in the face and tell ourselves the truth. But tonight on the show, we're talking about the 47th CAF General Assembly that just happened. And of course, in your picture, you can see Patrice Motsepe and of course, Gianni Infantino. There's always a talk about FIFA always around when CAF is doing something, but that's an issue for another day. And everything went on smoothly, no rancors, pretty smooth. And Patrice Motsepe has few choice words for people who have to listen. He said, look, CAF is doing well now. CAF is on the right path. CAF is making profit, is returning to profitability. A lot of issues, and there's also the little part about Nigeria hosting the next edition of the CAF General Assembly. Let me just quickly allow you listen to the CAF President Patrice Motsepe confirming Nigeria has the next host, that is for the 48th CAF General Assembly.
The important issue for us as well is to recognize the power of football, to unite our people, to bring our people together. We are all Africans. Today, we are all Congolese. A few months ago, we were all Ugandans, we were all Tanzanians, we were all Kenyans when we had the CHAN in those countries. Next year, we will all be Nigerian. We love everyone of the 54 countries in Africa, and it's a great honor for us to be in the beautiful country, DRC, Congo DRC. If we are not going to have confidence in our own people, whether it's the DRC or any one of the 54 countries in Africa, who will we expect to have confidence in our continent? So we love our continent, we love every one of the 54 countries in Africa, and we will always have a deep commitment to the people of each of our countries and to the people of the continent. The last point I want to emphasize is, for us, we love football, but we also recognize the power of people to unite. When the national team of Congo plays, everybody, all of us are excited and proud of their performance. The same applies for every one of the 54 nations in Africa. When the national team plays, all of us are very proud and we are united. I am very proud, and we are very proud that we brought the Ordinary General Assembly here to this beautiful country that gave me my name. I got my name Patrice from this country. Next year we'll be going to Nigeria. I also want to make sure that we send a message to the people of Nigeria to say, we love you, we are all Africans, and through football we want to make our humble contribution to the development and growth of football in Nigeria. And just in conclusion, we have a deep commitment to the 54 countries and the people of the 54 countries in Africa, and we are African. And we believe in the future of African football as well as in the future of the continent of Africa. And as I said, every country we visit on the continent is our home country. And when we are in those countries, we are people from that country.
All right, message of love, peace, and unity from Patrice Motsepe, the CAF president. And you can't hate this guy. Forget about what's happening between South Africa and Nigeria. You can't hate this guy. Patrice Motsepe, listening to him sometimes, most of the time really, is very optimistic, tries to inspire, says, look, we're brothers, we love each other, football brings peace, it brings unity, and we can only go forward.
Strikes me like a glass half full kind of man. And we're having this conversation and it looks like that's why he went unopposed when he was going for a second term. There are people within the African continent who have really liked what has happened with him at the helm of CAF. There will always be issues and they will always have complaints here, there, but it's encouraging to hear this. The fact that Nigeria is going to be hosting the next Ordinary General Assembly. Let's see what that means. Hopefully, this message of love, unity, and collaboration is felt across all 50-plus African countries.
All right, I hope so too. I'm very sure we'll probably agree on this. It's been a while we've seen somebody who seems to galvanize support, somebody who seems to find ways with the way he speaks and his actions, try to bring everybody together.
I like it. I love everything he talked about, and that's because Patrice Motsepe understands, first and first, is the proper businessman with a sense of a marketer who is not just quick to sell. He wants to identify the business environment, what the people want, that's why he's preaching that conducive environment. Say, guys, look, football has got the power to transform our continent. It can make us, unite and we're at peace. Then we can use football for business, But, lately I've been giving Patrice knocks because of what happened in Nigeria versus South Africa. I thought it was very dirty, silly politics from CAF, not just about the FIFA sanction and how it was delayed, the choice of taking Nigeria to the Free State Stadium, and days before that crucial match that had marketability attached to it that can actually sell African football. You allowed your country. You're the CAF president. Yes, it was a FIFA, qualifier, but you're the CAF president. You're from South Africa. You should make sure that you are selling our football the best way we can. And when it's South Africa, Nigeria, then it's big deal. And then they played a rugby match and then turned the pitch into a cattle ranch and took Nigeria there to play. That's a big, big stain. And that's why I gave Patrice the knock. So at this 47th General Assembly, that's part of what they can come together and say, look, it's not win at all costs in Africa. Let's come together and do things for the love of the game. And that's what he preached, and that is coming to Nigeria. And then we'll see what we can do, I'm sure they talked about a whole lot of things. One thing I want them to talk about is to look at this waffle beast situation. That a team that finishes third cannot even go and play the under-17 AFCON. And that means they cannot qualify for the World Cup. It's not helping the development of the game. So CAF must look at that. It's very, very important. We have the women. They go play home and away fixtures, and the best team gets to qualify. But with this format, you're just going to keep stopping the best teams from that region from qualifying. Hear me? That is proper politics. There's nothing Patrice Motsepe and CAF will tell me about that. And they need to end it. It has to stop. Let's listen to Patrice Motsepe again. He's talking about the profitability, and that's what I'm talking about, business. The CAF is making profit, making progress, but we need good laws, policies to keep it going. Listen.
The revenues in CAF has quadrupled. Now, it's important for me, I can show a profit of 100 million. I can even show a profit of 150 million. But the most important is the money that we have been able to attract because of our commitment to governance. Zero tolerance of corruption and bribery and fraud and illegality. Zero tolerance for lack of transparency. But when that money comes into CAF, every single one of them goes to the member associations, goes to football development, our competitions. So, my apologies. As I said, I don't want to be showing a huge surplus. It's good to have a surplus and also to save some of the money for the days or the years in future when there are challenges. But the most important thing is, we've doubled what the member association gets. We've spent $400 million on competitions and what the member associations get, because that's where the money is supposed to go. It's supposed to go to making African football under 17, under 20, under 23 for boys and girls. The football clubs in Africa, we've given $13 million for the first time to about 130 clubs in Africa. Each of them are going to get 100,000 to help them with the transport, logistic and other expenses. And there's a huge amount of money, as I said, that we spend on our competitions and also investing in our youth infrastructure. And also we want to pay our players more money and investing in our national teams and getting the private sector as well to sponsor football in every one of the 54 nations. What is important for me is how football is developing and growing in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and how football is developing and growing in every one of the 54 African nations.
Good job, Patrice Motsepe and the Confederation of African Football. We believe that football has got a power to unite the continent, and we hope that to continue to do just that. Oluwadamiloju, let's move on to the Super Eagles. They're getting ready for, I've tagged it the last dance. Nigeria's final push towards qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. That's the team right there in Polokwane, South Africa. They've concluded their first training session. Damilola, are you part of those who are 100% confident that this team can still qualify for the World Cup?
I'm not part of Nigerians who are confident. I understand that there are scenarios in which stars can align and the Super Eagles get to qualify, but I'm not holding my breath. Too many moving parts. We're expecting so much from other teams, favors here, there, and everywhere. One of such favors is that South Africa doesn't beat Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, they have just 4 points from 8 games. I've made my peace with it, that most likely for the second consecutive edition, the Super Eagles will not be at the World Cup.
And I mean, if you don't want further heartbreaks, you have to be honest with yourselves and look at what is before you.
Yeah.
You can't beat South Africa, Zimbabwe twice. You can't beat Lesotho. You don't deserve to be at the World Cup. And well, there's the news about the players in camp. I'll just go across and quickly talk about the players, reel out the names of the players in camp. There's a sort of some lethargy that we see with the Super Eagles, and we're hoping something will change. I don't know, maybe something will click into gear, but I wouldn't call it the last dance. It's not a dance. It's not a dance. All right, these are the players in camp. Let's just quickly reel out the names. Super Eagles players: Truce Ekong, Victor Osimhen, Ademola Lookman, Chrysanthus Uche, Wilfred Ndidi, Bruno Oyemiechi, Terem Murphy, Moses Simon, Calvin Bassey. You have Alex Iwobi, Samuel Chukwueze, Frank Oyenka, Tolu Arokodare. This is somebody I feel that should be starting games if we're really serious about winning. Shebi Ajayi, Stanley Wabali, Adebayo Adeleye, and Mas Obazoge. So these are the players. WG, let me just quickly come to you. The stars may align. You can't take that away. But you also have to be realistic in your expectations. Mm-hmm. Is there something different that this crop of players can do? Is there the potential for something different? Having it at the back of your mind that it may not be enough. But is there anything different? The kind of lethargic performances that we've grown used to with this crop of players, can we say anything different in these next 2 matches?
It's always possible. Like you've mentioned some really brilliant names on there. I think Benjamin Fredericks is also the last man to join in camp, so they're 18 right now.
All right.
Victor Osimhen has looked good for Galatasaray. He's someone that would always fight for the badge. We know he's a typical hustler. And yes, Nigeria on our day, we can beat anybody. The problem is we've hardly done that. 8 qualifying matches, we've drawn 5, we've won only 2, and we've gone on to lose 1. I think it is realistic that we win the game against Lesotho, genuinely. The challenge is the Benin Republic game, which is the final game for us. It's against a Benin team that, as we speak right now at top of the table, it's against a Gennett Raw who still feels he wasn't exactly treated perfectly by Nigeria. There are so many storylines. So I think that these players can do something on their day. We've just not seen that consistently enough, and that's why I'm not so
and the pen for me, Austin, is winning our 2 matches might just be confirming South Africa for the next World Cup. That's the painful part.
Yeah, let me say that again, please.
I said winning our next 2 matches might just be confirming South Africa's path to the World Cup. It might just be securing it for Bafana. That's how painful it is.
It's looking that way because I listened to Coach Hugo Broos and he said that he's not worried, that he's confident Nigeria will beat Benin Republic for them and that's all they need. It's such a frustrating. I don't think all my years of being a sports broadcaster, I've struggled this way to talk about any team qualifying for a major competition. It's so sad that they've dropped their destiny into the hands of another man. It's so I had to go back to 16th November 2023, match day 1, Nigeria, Lesotho, in Uyo. And because I wanted to understand, how did we get into this predicament, And that 1-1 draw against Lesotho, it's quite unfortunate. And we just followed that way till now. So South Africa, they're not bothered. Zimbabwe will be easy peasy for them. Their final match is against Rwanda. And they've said they will fight like lions, that they are so angry with this FIFA sanction. And by the way, they're still adamant that they're going to appeal that verdict, but I totally agree with you. The fact that we're playing Benin Republic gives South Africa so much hope that let's see how Nigeria will go to the World Cup if they beat Benin Republic.
All right.
And win our
Let's play the devil's advocate, Austin. A lot of people have not been talking about Rwanda, so let's talk about Rwanda, that are equal on points with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And if Nigeria thinks they can't be at the World Cup, Rwanda should be thinking about it as well. So if we are here thinking, well, we'll do South Africa's job by beating Benin Republic, how about Rwanda doing our job by beating South Africa? How possible is that?
That's it. I was even telling someone that our case is so bad that Rwanda even stands a better chance, of even making to the playoffs. Because Rwanda, they have 3 wins, It's just because they have more losses than Nigeria. That's why they are 4th on the log, but tied on 11 points, But look at Benin Republic. Benin Republic will do just enough, and they've been very productive with the qualifiers. So as I said, this has been so difficult, for me to analyze over and over again. I've tried, and it just comes back to the fact that Nigeria will depend on 3 countries. You hope, fast, and pray. Something must go wrong with South Africa. Something must go wrong with Benin Republic. Something must go wrong with Rwanda, even to an extent. What if we don't beat Lesotho? Lesotho is already looking good. We didn't beat Lesotho in Uyo. So in Polokwane, they will just come and see how they can even play for South Africa. So it's a very difficult situation. But Damiloju, it is what it is. We're in this situation. You are not part of those who believe 100% that we can qualify. But is there any way out of this for Nigeria?
There is. So there is this interesting scenario where Nigeria can finish on 17 points. South Africa can finish on 16 points and Benin can finish on 15. I know Yemi is looking at me like, what's in the math am I doing? So let me just put it out. I'm not saying this is going to happen. This is wishful thinking, maybe the prayer and fasting that Austin has talked about. If we win our 2 games, beat Lesotho and beat Benin, it means we finish on 17 points, yeah? If South Africa, biggest of all big ifs, if South Africa draw against Zimbabwe and their last game against Rwanda, it means they gained only 2 points, they end up with 16. And then if Benin draw and then lose to us because we won both games, Benin goes to 15 points. So that is a way in which we can qualify for the World Cup. Because I don't even want to get into the details of if you finish second, then you have to start collating the points of the 4 best teams that finish second. Then you have to win the 2 matches on the African continent. Then eventually go and play someone from another continent. Realistically, if you want to be at the World Cup as an African team, you need to top your group and qualify automatically.
From a Nigerian angle, as we go, from a Nigerian angle, if we lay all the cards on the table, we all believe Nigeria can win those 2 matches. The question those who have optimism will have to answer is, can Rwanda go to South Africa with South Africa needing just a draw?
Yeah.
Will Rwanda go to South Africa and beat? And even if they do, okay, head to head will favor us. But we'll be on the same number of points.
Honestly, I think South Africa get at least 4 points from the next 2 games.
And it's enough.
I've given them 3 points against Zimbabwe. I think they're going to win that one. And then if all they need is a draw against Rwanda, they're going to get it.
Ooh. I guess that's just a good place to just let it land on the show. It's tough. It takes your breath away. We shouldn't be here, but we are here already. Really, really very painful. And I just really want the qualifiers to just be over with, because I'm getting my tongue tied talking about this. But let's talk about other African countries that are still in with a shout. Eswatini will be up against Angola, Ethiopia against Guinea-Bissau, Libya up against Cape Verde, Mauritius will take on Cameroon. These are matches to be played tomorrow. The Central African Republic will up against Ghana. Chad will play Mali. Comoros will be up against Madagascar. Djibouti will be up against the Pharaohs of Egypt. All of these matches will play tomorrow. Sierra Leone will be up against Burkina Faso. Niger will be up against Congo, and Tanzania will take on Zambia. These are matches to be played tomorrow, and of course we'll be here to talk about all of this. A lot of people have also gone to town with, okay, there's a country that might be withdrawing and they will be taking points out for some people. We're just trying to grab anything that we can grab, and it's really, really a very painful situation. I mean, I don't know what to say. Austin, let me allow you to do the honors as we wrap it up on the show.
I understand. I feel for you. I also feel for myself. It's not been easy for us, analyzing Nigeria and the World Cup qualifiers. This is really tough. Look, let them just go do what they can. At least give it a grand, finish, win your last 2 games, and then let's see where we'll take you from there. It's really disappointing. Out of 8 matches, just 2 wins for Nigeria. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember to keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, it's a wrap here. I'll try to put up a smile. It's a wrap here in Lagos. I want to thank Oluwadamilore Sali for his time on the show.
Regardless of what we discussed, it's always a pleasure to be on Sports Tonight.
All right, thank you. All right, keep your heads up and have a smile on your face. Whatever happens, we love Nigeria. We love the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Enjoy the rest of the day. You see us again tomorrow. I'm Amy Adebayo. Bye-bye now.